be nothing, nothing without a woman.
And now, it's time for It's a Man's World with your hosts, Korey and Dave.
Hey everybody in Murfreesboro, Tennessee and Nashville. Welcome to It's a Man's World on WGNS Radio 100.5, 101.9 FM, 1450 AM. And of course, you can find us on the web at menrule.net. Find us on Twitter at
Korey and Dave, baby. What's up?
Right, a little delay there. Waking up.
Dude, it is early, man.
It's 4 in the morning. So, like I said,
What are you going to do, man?
Get on the coffee kick.
I just don't drink coffee, man.
Yeah, you'll learn at some point. I used to work I didn't start drinking coffee until I was like 23 years old.
Really? I can't do it, man. I can't do it.
I mean, my entire family were like, except for my mom and dad, but my entire family were coffee drinkers, never touched it. Then I started working at Cracker Barrel restaurant. Stayed out partying one night, way too late into the morning. And I was out till 2, had to be in at 5. That's when you look at your life and go, I'm opening Cracker Barrel restaurant at 5 a.m. on a Saturday. Where did I go wrong? But and so then I just started drinking coffee.
I say that every day still, dude.
I know, it woke me up. So there you go. Get on the coffee bandwagon. But get on Twitter at Korey and Dave, Korey with a K.
There you go, Korey with a K.
And today we're going to be talking about a lot of fun stuff. We're going to have Gerald Pitts, friend of ours, in the studio in the next
second
hour.
Yeah.
That's right. He's going to be so he gets to wake up at 5, or he got to be here at 5.
A little bit hour, yeah. Hour after we do.
But
after we get here.
We're going to be talking about a movie he wanted us to watch. We're going to be talking about comic books, and we're going to be talking about the Ramones in the second hour. So all things I love. Second hour is like dedicated.
I'm really
to me.
disappointed because I didn't get to introduce myself.
Oh, so anyways, I am, of course, we have to do this because what we're talking about later. I am Dave, I am D. Brew, and I am joined by, go ahead.
I am Korey H. Bob E. Bones, Koradamus, the makeup hunter, Farmer Korey, and of course, Korey with a K, baby. Thank you. Now I feel much better. I'm awake. I'm ready to go. That is my coffee, being able to introduce myself. Thank you.
There we go. So, yeah, in the next segment coming up, we'll obviously be talking about Bobby Bones.
Yes.
Bobby Bones. That's stupid as stuff.
Bobby Bones,
But
y'all.
we're talking about...
We'll talk about Bobby Bones. We're going to be talking about what we did this past weekend. We went to the Nashville Comic and Horror Con.
Yeah, we had a blast.
And then we got an interview with our new boy, Brandon Brains.
That's right, local rapper. So that'd be fun. So let's go ahead and get started with my weeks. First mic of the show. Why not? Korey, you used to fly a lot after 9/11, and I'm sure you probably weren't on a no-fly list or anything that you know about, right? I mean, you've talked to people. I've met people that are on no-fly lists, like their name's like John Smith or something. Like, hey, you're screwed.
Yeah, my wife was on one of the lists.
Was she really on the no-fly list? Well, I may be on something greater than the no-fly list.
I'm interested in hearing this.
I may be on the, I don't know. I don't even want to say what list I might be on. I might be on a terrorist watch list. I don't know.
Terrorist watch list.
So if you don't know, this past week.
You and Cat Stevens are on the same list.
Right. I'm like, what does he sing?
What does he sing?
I thought he would sing Cats in the Cradle, Silver Spoon, but he don't sing that, right?
No, he sings Father and Son. He sings a lot of stuff.
How many songs do you know about Cat Stevens?
Probably 20.
Really? I don't know any.
Name them? I can't name them.
All right, well, anyway, me and Cat Stevens probably share something in common. This past week removed, I don't know if you know, Vice President Biden was in town speaking at the Omni Hotel.
I didn't even know he was the vice president, to be honest.
Oh, my God. Shall I fire up the politics sound? Hey, we're two guys talking. We're talking politics. We don't know who the vice president is. No biggie. So anyway, he was in town, and my old buddy Jeff, who I've talked about many a time on the old show.
Boy.
Jeff is a right-wing Republican. That's the best way to describe him. He's like 50-plus years old.
Yes.
And one of my good friends in life.
Ex-Marine.
Right, ex-Marine. And we usually go on adventures. We usually get in a little bit of trouble. We were there at the Occupy Nashville camp a lot.
Those were always great stories, seriously. Like
right.
Dave and Jeff would go down to, when they were staying on Legislative Plaza, downtown Nashville, in their tents, and Dave and Jeff would go down there, and every week I'd be like, dude, what did you do this week?
And it got better and better. You know, walking through picket lines, get a job, all that. So anyway, so the story, and we've getting kicked out of Legislative Plaza. We've had security called on us. We're just two guys doing our thing, man, in the world. As he introduces us, we're a two-man lobby group. Now, this is it's him doing most of the talking. So anyway, we wanted to go see if we could get a sight of Joe Biden, maybe one of the governors of another state, whatever, no biggie. So we go up there at the Omni. We're walking around, just doing our thing. We're talking to people. Mm-hmm. I mean, really nothing out of the ordinary.
Oh, of course, nothing.
Well,
except
for Jeff saying, hey, is this where all the governors are? Is this where they drop the money bags to workers there, man? Right. So they're looking at us like kind of crazy. And he's like, yeah, man, where's all the governors at? Well, we can't go back here and look at them. What's the big deal? So I'm starting to notice people are looking at us kind of crazy. And you've got to understand, there are Secret Service agents walking around.
Oh, of course, the vice president is there.
You can see them. They all got the little goofy earpiece in. Right. Like, what are they even saying to each other, really? I mean, really, are they really talking to each other? Because I was talking to one guy. He took us out. So I don't know
what
how
important is it, yeah.
Right, so
maybe that's what happened when JFK got shot. He took us out.
Yeah, so
interesting.
So the key moment when I thought we might be in trouble is we're talking to some lady. He's asking her if she's found the Lord and all this stuff. And her boss comes over and starts eyeing us up. He goes, "What are you guys doing over here? What are you doing?" And we're like, "Just hanging out. No big deal." I said, "Jeff, it's time to go." So we start walking, and then we run some police officers we know. And we talked to them for a little bit, and I was like, I got to get back, Jeff. I got to get back to work, and I got to go pick up my kids and all this. So I don't have time to be hanging out with you. So I leave. Well, about 30 minutes later, I get a text on my phone that says, "Call me now." That's never a good text. Like, has anyone ever, call me now, great news has come out of it? Like, when you did
that reminds me of, when everybody had pagers and you get 911.
It was always bad.
Oh, it was always just stupid. Like, what do you want? It's always your girlfriend. You think it's something important, so you call immediately, and it's just like, oh, I was wondering where you're at.
Well, usually in my life now, if it says call me, I'm in trouble. Like, if my wife's calling me, you
got kids.
I may throw my phone in. No, I may have just done something stupid or whatever. I'm just going to throw my phone in the toilet. Like, I don't know. Go get a new phone, whatever. I got a flip phone now because of that.
Flip phone.
I threw my last smartphone in the toilet.
You're on Breaking Bad. Everybody's got a flip phone.
So I called Jeff back. I'm like, what's going on, man? He's like, I just got shaken down by the Secret Service. I was like, oh, no. I was like, what happened? He's like, well, they come up to me, and they were like, you need to come over here now. Where's your friend at? We need to know where he's at right now. And his friend, obviously, it was me. Mm-hmm. And I was like, Jeff, please tell them you did not give them my name. Yeah, I gave him your name. I was like, oh, my God. I was like, Jeff.
So they just came up why?
Well, anyways, so they go, your friend was over there making crazy statements. I was like, Jeff, I did not make any crazy statements to anybody. Like, I barely talked. I was like, you were the one making crazy statements, dude. And he's like, well, I don't know. They kept asking about you. They were really concerned where you were at. And then they asked me for my ID, and then they took it back to some truck, and they come back 15 minutes later. I was like, well, they just ran you through some database, And
the terrorist database.
Yeah. So
the Cat Stevens database.
And so they take his name down. Then obviously they take my name down, and they know where I work because I told one of them earlier. So obviously I'm some database now. And he goes, after that, they go, well, I don't know if you guys were saying anything crazy as much as maybe you were somewhere you shouldn't have been. And Jeff's like, is this not a public area? We can't. Well, I'm just saying, I'm not saying anything official, but maybe that was it.
So I don't understand. I mean, for one, honestly, I don't believe you guys that you didn't do anything because I know you two. I know you two. Jeff is the most right-wing person that I know.
Have I ever lied to you about any of these stories? I
don't think you lie, but I think maybe you're doing something you just don't realize you're doing it because you're so used to doing it. You go downtown, you guys literally go inside of Legislative Plaza and you're trying to shake down all of these legislators yo.
That's our job. We the people.
Right. So who are you trying to shake down in this one? You're trying to get to Biden is what you're trying to do.
I wasn't trying to get to anybody. Now, Jeff is just a cagey dude, and he just rubs people the wrong way.
So he was saying something to somebody. He was either making a joke to one of the Secret Service person or something.
We never talked to a
You said
it was a state trooper. It was a state trooper wearing one of those things.
Okay.
So anyway, whatever. The point is, I want some watchless now, so they're probably listening to this radio show. So if they are,
you need to tag them on Twitter. I'm sure they're
go get lost
gonna
Secret
listen.
Service, okay? Go do your job. Go support or protect or whatever you're supposed to do. Don't be shaking down people like me, taxpayers.
What I'm going to tell you, Secret Service, is I'm on your side.
Well-
I totally believe that.
Oh, yeah.
David and
here's what
this
he'll
guy,
tell you.
Jeff.
Here's what he'll tell you in the second hour. He's going around impersonating celebrities. So who really is the bigger threat to society here? Me, taxpayer,
Hey.
left.
Impersonating or getting mistaken, two different things.
Now, real quick before we get out of this break, I want to tell you that Jeff, if you don't know who this dude is, you got to go to Bill Maher's official Instagram page.
Yes.
He is the first two piece holding a sign up. It says, "Leave our guns alone, leave our God alone," or something like that. Jeff will be that pit. He's wearing like a hat. He's an older dude. He has received over 5,000 likes on Bill Maher's Instagram page.
Are they likes or like I'm supporting you, or they're likes because they're following Bill Maher on Instagram?
They're the worst. Yeah, they're making fun of them. All right, so if you want to know that, go to Bill Maher's Instagram page. We're
That's
not endorsing Bill Maher.
hilarious.
And when we come back, we'll talk about why you're going around town.
Who I'm impersonating.
celebrities. And we'll find out when we come back.
All right. All right, we're back. I am Korey H. here with my man D. Brew. You are listening to It's a Man's World on WGNS 100.5 in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Thank you for joining us. I know it's early, but I still appreciate that because you guys are awake and we're partying right here in the studio. What is going on, Dave?
Right, party time with Bobby Bones.
That's right, Bobby Bones, baby. So I don't know if all of you know who Bobby Bones is because I didn't know who he was until, I don't know, maybe a couple months ago when my boss where I work was like, "You look like Bobby Bones." And I'm like, Who is Bobby Bones? Literally. Like, I had no idea, never heard of him, anything. So I get he's a nationally syndicated DJ here for 90 here in Nashville
for
98.6. I mean,
is that what it is?
97.9, which is 98 WSIX.
So
Okay.
like our competitor.
He's definitely our competitor.
All right.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I wouldn't say he's a competitor. I don't think he's on from our time slot 4 to 6.
I don't care. I feel,
Should I not have said that? Should I?
No,
not have
I
said
just
what he
feel
was
throwing
on?
the airwaves. They're our competition.
Okay, you got to destroy the competition.
Yeah.
Hashtag destroy the competition.
His show is probably garbage.
Oh, dude.
But you probably
Is it country?
you know more about the guy than I do.
98.
Here's what I know about Bobby
Okay.
Bones. When I go to work every morning, I look outside my window sometimes.
Yes.
There's a big billboard, Bobby Bones. That's all. My kids now, you know what they say when I go home? Because I say Bobby Bones so much now. I do it just when I go, Bobby Bones. My kids go, "Why do you like to say that name so much?" I swear.
Because your uncle is Bobby Bones.
Because your uncle is Bobby Bones. Corey, you're the
So
kid.
it literally started with my boss saying I look like him, and then she started showing everybody in the building the picture of Bobby Bones, and they all totally agree, and they all go crazy, like, "Yes, you look like Bobby Bones." And I'm like, "All right, whatever." So you look like Bobby Bones. Okay, I kind of look like this guy.
A little bit.
So
Well, let's talk about the News 5 anchor. Start with that one.
the News 5 anchor?
Steve Haslip
Steve Hayslip, yes.
on Twitter.
On Twitter started following me because he thought I was Bobby Bones. He tweeted me saying, "Thanks for the follow. I'm a huge fan. Will you please play this?" What band was it?
Lone Star
Lone
or
Star
something, I
song.
don't know.
My kids in the video or something like that. And I was so Dave and I being us, we tweeted him back. I said, "Yeah, man, I'd love to play a song. That's great." And I said, "Why don't you call this number and give us a show ID?" So we were kind of messing back with him.
Right,
Like,
so
hey,
that's-
if you're dumb enough to follow me because you think I'm Bobby Bones,
And
then
tell him how you spelled Bobby Bones.
that's the thing.
The real Bobby Bones
Bobby
was
Bones is just Bobby.
B-O-B-B-Y.
Bones.
Right.
Just how it's
right.
spelled. I had my Twitter name spelled Bob -E BONEZ.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no confusing it. I mean,
it's-
and my Twitter handle is Korey on the mic.
Yeah, it's unacceptable.
It's very unacceptable.
But so we thought. I've always thought Steve Haslip or whatever. I thought he was kind of a goof for years.
Right,
I've
sure,
been watching him
sure.
since I was a teenager.
yeah, he's been on forever.
So that's 20 years
Yeah.
at least. And so we thought this guy was dope, whatever. But now So
Oh man,
you told me you were going to participate in some little hipster 5K.
what was a 5K called?
It's
the
a
Glow
hipster
Run?
5K, though,
whatever
right?
you want to call it.
Hashtag hipster 5K. Please.
That's their hashtag. Yes.
So you run in this glow run.
Yeah. So there's about I said 5,000. My wife said that they made an announcement saying there was 4,000 people. So we'll just go with 4,000 people,
whatever,
which is a
yeah.
huge 5K.
That's a lot, yeah.
And we were waiting in, I don't want to call it a line, but if you've ever ran a 5K, they kind of like herd you like cattle, basically.
big group,
So
yeah.
you're just in there and you're enclosed with all these thousands of people, literally, and they're letting little groups go at a time. So, they're just like, so I guess so you can run more easy. As
Right,
you're
yeah. And
running.
you're supposed to line up how fast you can run, blah, blah,
Yeah,
blah.
exactly. And this was more of like a party 5K, so it wasn't like
This is at night.
This
by
is
the
at
way,
night. This
yeah.
is 9 o'clock at night. Actually,
Most 5Ks
yes,
I've
or-
ran were
or in
at
the
7 in the morning.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Wonderful.
So I'm sitting in the herd of cattle, the middle of it all. There's like 2,000 people in front of me, 2,000 behind me. I'm in the middle of it all, and this lady behind me is like, "Are you Bobby Bones?" And I'm like, first of all, I don't really think this is. I'm like, this is not happening.
But okay, keep going.
So I turn around and she's like, "Are you Bobby Bones?" And me being me and me knowing what Dave would want me to say and just kind of going along with the radio show, I was like, "Yes, I am Bobby Bones." So she starts talking about the show and how much she loves my show, or Bobby Bones show. And like we were saying earlier in the show, I've never listened to Bobby Bones. I know absolutely nothing.
We wouldn't
about
know what this guy's
No.
voice sounds
No,
like.
we don't know what this voice sounds. And my wife, after the fact, asked me, "Do you sound like Bobby Bones?" And I said, "I have no idea.
idea.
I'm gonna guess no. I'm gonna guess I do not sound like Bobby Bones."
Probably a good idea.
So she's asking me, she's not asking me. She's talking about the show. She's like, something about 10 a.m. I have no idea what she's talking about. She's like, "I love your show. I'm a huge fan." Something about 10. She keeps on saying something about 10. I don't know. He goes off the air at 10. I don't have a clue. And I'm just going, "Yeah, thank you so much. That's great. Thank you so much." I just keep on saying that. And then I go, "Do you want a photo?" And she was like, "Are you sure? Is that cool?" I'm like, "Yeah, let's do it. That's fine." She's like, "Oh, that is so awesome." So I get a photo with her, and I can't remember. I can't remember everything, but I think I took a photo with somebody else with her group.
Oh, my goodness, God.
My wife, as soon as I said, "Do you want a photo?" my wife turned around and walked, she just pushed away through the crowd to get away because she was embarrassed. So,
Which I would have loved. I wish I'd have been there.
so I get my photo taken as Bobby Bones with these people. Okay, so that happens. We move on. I'm talking to my wife. She's like, "I cannot believe you just did that. They are gonna find out. They're gonna tweet Bobby Bones or something. He's gonna say I wasn't even in Nashville or whatever, and he's gonna find out." And I'm like,
As if he would respond.
right.
number
And I'm
one,
like,
I mean.
who cares? Who cares? I was like, that was awesome. I was like, "You're married to Bobby Bones right now. That's
Right.
all you should be caring about."
Just enjoy the moment.
So as we're talking about that, I get another tap on my shoulder. And it's these two kids. They're probably like 12 years old, 10, 12 years old, whatever. They're like, "Can we get a picture?" And I'm like, "Of course you can."
Wow.
So the one kid takes a picture. I got my arm around. I get down on one knee, so I'm at the same height as this other kid. And I'm like, I'm doing like, yeah, getting a good, the best picture I can give. The kid takes a picture, he says thanks. I'm like, "Hey, no problem, man, And I start thinking, there's 4,000 people here. I'm
Yeah.
in the middle of it. What if all 4,000 people think I'm Bobby Bones?
That'd be
What could happen?
nothing.
Well, I'm like, is everybody here going to start asking me for a photo?
That'd be even better.
No, that's what I was thinking.
What were you wearing? What shirt were you wearing?
I was wearing a custom Glow Run shirt that our company made specifically
See,
for
that
the
was
Glow Run.
that was your first mistake.
It said, you'll love this. It said, Glow Ninja, Glow Ninja, Glow.
You should have been wearing it's a Man's World shirt,
Well, I should
which you can
have.
get at menroll.net, by the way. Under the
I wish-
merchandise
you know what?
tab.
I should have been. I should have been. Next time, I will definitely be doing that. But I
Okay.
was wearing a fluorescent green
Glow
shirt
Ninja.
that was based off of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
So how does it feel to be a celebrity? I guess that's the question.
It feels fantastic. I loved it. I'm not even going to lie. I loved it. I wanted everybody to ask me for my photo.
Right.
I loved it, dude. I feel this close. Like, I think our next, like, within the next year, I think we're going to blow up. We have to because it felt so good. It felt so good.
I hope so. All right, we'll come back and talk about Comic Cons. That's right. So stick with us.
All right, we are back. It's a man's world on WGNS 100.5, straight out of Murfreesboro, Tennessee. And we are back. This segment, we are going to be talking about what we did this past weekend. We went to the Nashville Comic and Horror Fest. We had a great time, David. You want to tell them what we did?
Yeah, but before we do that, last segment we talked about Bobby Bones.
We're going to come back to this?
I found some audio of a Bobby Bones
You found
show.
some?
So let's just listen for just a second, see what this sounds like.
The Bobby Bones Show.
All right, let's go to Daniel in New Mexico. Hey, Daniel, what's happening, dude?
Not much, Bobby. What are you up to, man?
Man, just doing the show. What do you want to say?
So that's what he sounds like.
Do I sound like him?
I don't think so. I mean,
Am I better on the mic than this
Here
guy?
we go. Let's see.
Not much, Bobby. What are you up to, man?
Man, just doing the show. What do you want to say?
Why don't you try that real quick?
Man, not much, man. What do you want to say? Just doing the show. What's going on, dude?
He doesn't have a very southern accent, so
no, he's not.
You might be able to pass for him.
Hey, what's going on, guys? What are you doing? Hey, I'm just doing the show. Hey, what's up, man?
There we go.
Hey,
I'm in studio
how's
with
it going?
Bobby Bones here in
just doing the show, man. Hey, what do you want to say?
Here in the morning on WGNS. Bobby Bones in the studio. How's it going, Bobby?
Hey, pretty good, man. What are you doing? I'm just doing the show. What are you doing?
Well, there we go. That's the way it sounds like.
Cool.
So now you know.
Awesome, dude.
It's not the worst. He's not
No,
the worst,
fine.
dude.
I'm sure he's fine.
Sure, he's the
he
greatest.
seems. I follow him on Twitter. He seems pretty cool.
I feel like I know a lot about him now, but just because I follow him on Twitter, I'm like, yeah, I know some interns on the show. And
Yeah, exactly.
So, all right, well, let's talk about Nashville Comic and Horror Festival, which we attended this past week. You know, obviously we talked about on last week's show. And, you know, we had a great time. That's what I want to say. I mean, I don't know what you experienced, but I love conventions anyway. There's a bunch of nerds hanging out, geeks, whatever, some hot chicks here and there, whatever. And we got to meet Crimson, which was a highlight.
Yes, we did. That was awesome.
Very cool guy. Took some time to talk with us. Even did a spot for our sister show, I guess. Our
PWA show.
PWA show, which our intern, Halfpint, does. He did so that'll be on there this week. Go to thepwashow.com if you want to check it out. So he was kind enough to talk to us. I mean, a lot of these shows like this, where there's a smaller show, it's more about meeting people you already know. Like, we've met a ton of people at these conventions. They're like, hey, how's it going? How you doing? You know, whatever. So that was, I mean, it was just an awesome time, man.
Yeah, I mean, Jim Cornette was there, Jerry Jarrett, like you said, Crimson, Shane Douglas.
But let's talk about our favorite guy we met.
Oh man!
So
I'll let you set it.
We
up.
are both huge Walking Dead fans. Love it. Love the last season. I'm not gonna spoil anything.
I'm gonna spoil the fact that the last episode of the last season, which is season 4, is the best episode yet.
Yeah, it was pretty grisly stuff went down, and there was a character that emerged from this past season whose name is Dan.
Yes.
The internet coined him as Deserves It Dan or Deserved It Dan. Let's figure out what happened to him. Probably nothing good. But he basically, without giving anything away, was not a good guy.
Without giving anything, that's about the only thing you can say.
And he was there.
Keith Brooks,
one of the few Walking Dead people, was there, and we walked by him. You know, we talking to everybody. So I'm like, hey, what are you doing? What are you selling here? And I was actually talking to his friend who looks like Elijah Wood.
Oh,
looks like
he does. Yeah,
looks like the Hobbit.
A muscular,
probably the best looking. I mean, besides you, Bobby Bones.
Oh, thank
probably
you.
one of the better looking dudes there, as far as like.
That's
I mean,
hilarious. You would even say that.
Well, it was like very kind of white trashish.
Right. Oh yeah, of course.
You
Yeah,
know,
it's at the fairgrounds. It's Tennessee State Fairgrounds.
My people. I mean, I love you
sure.
guys and whatever. You know, I'm hanging with you, not Bones over here. But and so you know, so we're talking to Elijah Wood Jr. here, and then Keith Brooks comes in. He was somewhere else. And he goes,
so I didn't realize that. So you were talking to him without Keith even being there, just to see what was going on.
Right.
And then he showed up. And then how did you recognize him, or did you see the pictures that he had on the table? How did you realize that was?
I saw the
picture.
I saw the pictures.
Okay, so you're like, oh wow, this is who this is.
And I'd read like
that he was
going
to be there.
I didn't see him, you know.
Right.
So I was like, oh wow. I was like, so what? You know. And then they give you a spiel. You can buy this picture, buy this or that. He's like, for $3, I'll videotape me slow dancing with you. Now we got to preface this with the entire day, and in the interview we did a pre-taped interview with Brandon Brains. The Halfpint, our intern, was there helping us. He helped us a lot. Let's just say that. And this bit coming up is priceless. He did help with the Brandon Brains interview. So if you hear that later, that's who that is, Halfpint the intern. But he said, I'll slow dance with you for $3. I said, well, he ain't slow dance with me, and I ain't slow dance with Bones over here. So I was like, intern, slow dance with the guy right now. He said, I ain't doing it. I said, no, you're doing it because you're an intern and you do whatever we tell you to do. And somehow we get these miscreants or these people and they do whatever I tell them to do. I'm like, hey, set yourself on fire. No, yes, okay, I'll do it. So they slow danced together for about 20 seconds.
Oh, it was amazing.
We captured it. It's on Instagram. So if you want to follow us on Instagram, I don't know how that works, but just
Korey and Dave. Just search for Korey and Dave.
And I think there's a link up on the website, mineralworld.net.
Sure.
And he sings Earth Angel while slowly holding him and massaging the back of his neck.
So if you've never seen this guy, he's probably, 5'9" or so, right around in there, probably like, 200 pounds. Halfpint is called Halfpint for a reason.
Right.
He's about 5'4", about 90 pounds.
Right.
The whole time, yes, like David said, Keith is singing Earth Angel, Earth Angel, Earth Angel. Halfpint is literally, his face turns beet red. He is so embarrassed, so uncomfortable. He's saying, you can hear him saying, you know what? Just watch the video.
Right.
It's hilarious.
Please go watch the video. I've even put it up on our Facebook page. So there's several places you can find it, but it was great. So we talked to him for a while, man.
Yeah,
we should have just talked to him for the show. He told us a lot of
amazing,
great tidbits.
Amazing.
I mean, because you left, he was telling me about how he found out he was going to be doing the part we're not talking about, and it was a great story. And
really cool guy.
Yeah. So that's a story we'll keep to ourselves. But obviously, we met several of our friends. Dixie of the Rat Tail let us crash at her table, which was really cool. So like we always say, go to therattail.com. It'll take you to our Facebook page. She's got a Twitter page as well. She follows us.
Makes custom jewelry, awesome custom jewelry.
She was doing
including earrings, all that good stuff,
right.
man.
And we also got to meet our friend Chad Flatt.
Chad Flatt from HL Collectibles. We got to meet him in person for the very first time. Now, was that weird? It was almost like once you meet somebody on the somebody on the internet for like the past year or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And then you meet him in person. It's almost just like, oh, hey, what's up? Like you already know him, right?
I feel like we've already met this.
Yeah,
I feel like that's not the first time we met Chad.
Really? Because
I thought he was at the Sparta show.
He was at the Sparta show, but I don't think we met him.
I thought we met him.
Did we?
I don't know.
Maybe you did. I don't know. Maybe
I thought I met him.
Maybe it's very possible. But.
So he opens up a bag.
Oh, wow.
So I'm going to talk about what he gave us. I'm holding it in my hands, but you obviously can't see it. Maybe we'll put a picture up on Twitter. I will. It'll be on our Twitter page at some point. But so anyways, HL Collectibles, we do commercials.
Who sponsors the show?
Right. So we'll say right now, if you need anything, and we'll talk about some things he gave us and a prize giveaway we'll talk about a little bit later. But if you need any sports memorabilia, pop culture needs, anything like that, Chad's your guy to go to. I mean,
he's got the vintage toys. He's got the action figures. He's got it all, man.
He had so many wrestling action figures. It was crazy. Like, he had everybody you could think
I'm not
of.
even joking when I say this. Chad is the man. He knows. He's such a pro. He's so great at what he does, man.
He is. So he listens to the show. He's a fan of the show, and he's a friend of ours, even more important.
Definitely.
But he both gave us something that we would enjoy. So I was a little bit worried at first. Said, oh, boy, here we go. What's this going to be?
David thought he was getting the fleshlight.
So I opened mine up, and he knows I love Coors Light, obviously. Mm-hmm. I mean, it inspired the T-shirt we wear today.
That's very true.
And he knows I love Elvira, which I've talked about several times. So he got me an Elvira sticker, vintage, 1980 Coors Light.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Elvira sticker. It's the best.
2-in-1, baby.
I'll never even open this thing. It's in a sealed case. I'm never even going to open it.
You got 2-in-1, man. You got the best of both worlds. That is so seriously. Like I'm actually looking at this like for real for the first time, man. It's
right.
It's funny.
And then he knows tell him what you got. I mean, he knows about you too.
Well, obviously he's in the he does his collectibles and he's in he loves baseball cards, of course, and anybody who's listened to the show or to the podcast rather for a while knows that I love the Detroit Tigers. And my favorite player of all time is Alan Trammell, which I'm sure you're probably thinking, who is Alan Trammell? Oh. But he was through the 70s, 80s, and 90s. He played for 20 seasons for the Tigers. He was a shortstop, probably one of the greatest shortstops of all time. But for some reason, he's not in the Hall of Fame. So anyways, He gave me an autographed Alan Trammell card, which, I mean,
That's pretty awesome.
it was
I mean,
awesome.
You've talked about this before. Your
Awesome.
love for it. So
Yes,
and
definitely.
then he gives us a prize pack, right?
Oh, jeez.
I mean, this is a big box of stuff.
Yes.
So we start looking in there, and I see.
So what
this,
does Dave do? Dave steals something.
Well, I see a Steve McNair Titans Upper Deck card, game worn jersey in the card. This is mine now. Sorry, that ain't beginning no giveaway.
Chad gives us stuff to give away. on
Right,
the
and I
show,
took this.
He,
I won-
he gave it away. We gave it away to Dave.
I won that contest.
Dave gave it away to himself.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
The contest is who can record the show. Me. Okay, well, so so we also got some other great items inside the box. We got.
He gave us a Darth Maul figure. He gave us a LeBron James McFarlane figure, which is beautiful. I mean, if you know McFarlane,
and we're going to
then
talk
you know.
about that.
We'll talk about that later.
How
on.
you can win that later
Yep,
on, and
yep.
we're obviously going to talk about LeBron James. Obviously,
Exactly.
we got to talk about him.
Exactly.
If you talk sports,
we'll,
I mean,
we'll
come on.
talk about him later on.
Got some comic books in
second
there,
hour.
which
Yeah.
I love. Superman comic books, other comic books. So there's more stuff, and we're going to be doing giveaways over the next couple
There
of
is
weeks.
an old school Nintendo thermos,
Right.
Legend of Zelda, bro.
So all you gamer nerds out there, we know you listen.
Yes.
Be listening, because in the next couple of weeks, we're going to give you hashtags to use on Twitter or Facebook or Instagram or Vine. We're everywhere. If you use those hashtags, you'll be eligible to win. And we do send out stuff. You can ask Nicholas, a fan of the show. We send him
Yep.
out stuff. So we gave away some DVDs at the Nashville Comic and Horror Festival.
Exactly.
So we give away stuff. You just got to participate with us and, let it happen. So, yeah, man. So it was a good time. I don't know what the next I don't know. We're con heavy
Wizard
anymore.
World, I don't know. I mean, that's in October.
Right.
I mean, I was asking Dixie when's the next time we're going to hang out. When's,
Right.
when's the next one here? And she said there isn't one. So I mean, I think it's October, and that's going to be Wizard World.
Yeah, so that's a while. But we were going to hang out, hopefully soon. But let's talk about Travis Bibb was also there,
Yeah.
author of
Mockingbird Hill.
And A Pirate's World According to Revenge.
Exactly.
His new book, which you should go out and get.
Yes, for sure.
And you can follow him. He writes articles for us at Lord Baggington on Twitter. And if you go to our
Mm-hmm.
website, he does the movie articles. Now, he had come to us a while back and said that he wanted to do a prize giveaway of his
Mm-hmm.
new book, which is a pirate-themed book. And if you go to Instagram or Facebook or Twitter, you'll see a picture of our entire group. He's the guy dressed as the pirate, which is kind of funny. We're hanging with pirates here. And he's doing a prize giveaway. He wants to give away the book. And it was like, it's a couple of things in there, which I was like, maybe I should take that too. But I already bought
There's
the
an
book.
ongoing theme here that
Yes.
Dave likes to take things.
I do, but I
that
bought-
do not belong to him, that are supposed to belong to the fans.
Right, but I actually did buy his book with my hard-earned cash. So we will actually be giving away this pirate-themed contest.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, let's go ahead and start the bidding. What should the hashtag be? And it's got to be something pirate-related. I mean, just hashtag pirate. I mean...
Yeah, that's a good question. I guess we probably should have thought about this.
Oh,
Hashtag pirate IAMW.
Okay, there we go. So
Pirate, it's a man's world.
there
Pirate.
you go. Just hashtag. Tell us you want to win Lord Baggington
Just tell if
stuff.
you just tell us that, that's good enough.
We're gonna
for
put
us.
you in, but you got to actually participate, because this
Yes.
is it's a pretty good part in the book. His last book, Mockingbird Hill, is
Yeah.
outstanding. Corey actually read that, and Corey doesn't even read books.
Exactly, and
I would put that on the back of a book cover. I would. I'd be like, Corey actually doesn't read books, but read this one. I loved it. So that
He actually filmed. He had filmed a book trailer, which, if you don't know what that is basically just like a
boy.
movie trailer, but a book trailer for Mockingbird Hill that he asked me to be in, which I was in.
right.
I'm promoting his
No,
his,
it's fine.
book.
It's fine.
I'm not promoting me.
You are
Bobby
promoting
Bones.
you. You're
I'm
promoting yourself as well. Go.
I am promoting Mockingbird
We will
Hill,
be
the
put-
book.
We will. The picture is on your Facebook page. We will be putting that picture up for the world to see on our Twitter sometime this week.
No,
So
please don't do that.
yeah, you would hate that.
Oh, please.
So yeah, there we go. So get in the contest. Hashtag pirate. Hashtag IMW. Whatever the freaking thing is. What's the call signs? Whatever.
IAMW.
All right, we're gonna come back and we're gonna do our little interview with Brandon Brain. So enjoy. That's right. You're listening to It's a Man's World with Korey and Dave on WGNS Radio. That's right. It's early, but we're awake. You should be awake too, and hopefully you are enjoying what you hear. Hopefully we're getting you through the day, whether you had a late night, an early morning, whatever's going on with you. Maybe you're an alcoholic and you're struggling for sobriety. I don't know what's going on with your life, but in future episodes, we're going to have positivity messages provided by a close friend of ours.
Yes.
Basically, great tips such as today's positive thought is learn about a historical event and how it impacts your life today. So we're looking forward, I mean, when I get up this early, that's when I'm searching for.
I like that.
Facebook friends posting positivity messages. So,
but we could do a whole 2 hours just on that.
We might. So, well, not today. But anyways, we talked to Brandon Brains, a Nashville
rapper, hip-hop artist.
Artist. And, it's funny, we were supposed to interview Spoken Nerd at GMX. He's actually aligned with the Spoken Nerd.
Yeah, I kind of assume so because they both look very similar.
Yes.
They both rap. They have similar styles. I kind of assume
they're actually in a hashtag rap club is a thing they're in together.
They're both white, so I assume they were.
Right. So me and Halfpint interviewed him. Thanks much thanks to Halfpint for helping me out with the interview. We talk about, why he chose hip hop, what's it like white versus black audiences, and he kind of plugged some of his stuff as well. So it was fun hearing a man because he was basically rapping without a microphone in a large building.
I can imagine it was very uncomfortable for him to do that. It was at the Nashville Comic-Con. He was in a corner. I can see that being very uncomfortable.
Yes. So we're going to go to his interview. Make sure you check him out on Twitter, Instagram, everything he gives you. Tell him that you heard about him on the show. And we hope to actually have him on later on, a little bit more in-depth interview. But here we go. Here's our talk with Mr. Brandon Brains.
Brandon Brains, you just basically killed it here at the Nashville Comic and Toy Con. How does it feel?
It feels good.
Getting your message spread out there. I'm with It's a Man's World, WGNS 100.5. We're on Saturday mornings. Now, you say you got a show upcoming in Murfreesboro?
Yeah, August 1st, House of Wax presents Rollin' in the Borough Part 1. It'll be at the Borough Bar and Grill at 1211 Greenland Drive, Murfreesboro on August 1st, and the show starts at 8 p.m. I'll be performing with Streetlight All-Stars, Eliminate, Namir Blade, Rack Music, and some others to be announced.
What got you to want to do rap music as opposed to rock or what everyone else does in this state, country?
I was searching for something different. I was going through a really hard point in my life, and I needed to find something that would be a challenge to me and that would keep my mind off of where my life was at, and it just kind of progressed from there. And once I worked my way through that, then I realized that as a person, I had a lot of other issues to work through, and I happened to be in the right medium to get through that and help other people get through their issues. So
they all sound very personal. Is all your writings very personal?
Yes. Whether it's about my life or it's about the life of somebody that I've encountered, I consider myself to be a storyteller, and I'm always out to tell a story. Some are more abstract than others, but I'm always out to tell a story and to make somebody think about whether it be their life or somebody else's situation. That's what I'm out to do. So
you say you're not looking to take over the world. Do you have any goals whatsoever?
I guess I don't really want to take over the world. I just want to be in control of my world. I want to be in control of what's around me personally and in control of myself. So,
all right, and Dave, you got anything else for him?
Sure. So when you talk about hip hop and rap, what is the state of hip hop and rap in Nashville, Tennessee? Because I was in a band for years, and there would be like one hip hop band or rap band that would pop up. Was really good, but that would be about it. So as a hip hop artist, what's it like today that you've seen I guess the Nashville scene or the Murfreesboro scene?
Well, when I first got to Nashville, I was completely unaware that there was even a scene. Because I was actually doing hip-hop music before I moved here. And then I get into town, and I eventually start making friends with other hip-hop artists, and I've actually formed a collective with some guys, Kid Dead and Spoken Nerd, and we formed a collective by the name of Rap Club. But we're just, we're three of, dozens of amazing MCs here in Nashville. So we're always doing shows at Cafe Coco in the end. As a matter of fact, August 24th, myself and Kid Dead will be opening up for Cage and Sadistic, who are two very big names in the underground hip-hop scene, and they're going to be coming to Nashville August 24th, and we'll be opening up for them at the end. So it's, when you can bring artists like that through Nashville who are aware of the fact that we have a scene, it says a little bit more than what's out there in the open for people to just notice without having to look for it.
Right. And so when you're marketing yourself and you're pushing your product out, I mean, most hip hop, obviously, I mean, it's kind of come as a big shock to people, but it's largely, black audiences. But with you, Spoken Nerd, and things like that, well, I mean, how do you see your audiences coming together? Is it mainly kind of indie kids coming out, or what's the breakdown of the audiences you've seen at this point?
Well, I just wrapped up a 3-week tour, and I think it all just depends on where you're at. In Nashville, we usually have a very mixed audience because we don't try to put on just one style of hip hop. We try to put on several different artists, so then that way we can get out multiple styles to a wider audience. Wider, not whiter. Right. But no, we just try to reach out, to a lot of people, and and then there's some cities where they book their shows and they put on a certain style of show, and so then you get just a very standard audience, throughout. Whether like in Atlanta, it was very one-sided as far as the crowd, and then we play a show in Florida, and it's a completely different side as far as the crowd. So as far as the Nashville hip-hop scene goes, we're always out to try to have a wide variety of people performing, and we don't always just do hip-hop. We also have indie rock artists. We've had acoustic artists. We've had singer-songwriters, just to really try to open people up to the fact that we're all we all have something to say regardless of what style of music we're doing. So
very nice. All right, so got to know if you could do one duet with any MC alive currently, who's it going to be, your ideal person to collaborate with?
I really don't even have to think about it. Cecil Otter from Doomtree, out of Minneapolis. He's actually the one. It was a conversation with him that kind of transitioned me into doing hip hop. He didn't so much say, hey, you should do hip-hop music. It was a very in-depth conversation, and then what I took from that was I need something that's going to challenge me. And so I think just based on the influence that he's had on me personally, it would be amazing to work with him one day. But I've also worked with some of my favorite MCs already, being Kid Dead and Spoken Nerd and B Dun and a lot of other friends that I've made along the way. We've done some really good collaborations together, and look forward to meeting and working with a lot of other artists. But dream collaboration, definitely Cecil Otter.
Very nice. All right, so go ahead and plug your stuff, how people can find you on the internet. I know you're on, I'll let you tell it all. I know you're on a ton of places, but go ahead.
It's cool. I'm on brandonbrains.com. Through that website, I don't spell anything funny. It's brandonbrains.com. And from that, you can get to my SoundCloud, Facebook, Twitter, all that good stuff. But Instagram is one that if you want to interact with me more personally, Instagram is a good way, at BrandonBrains. And I always make sure that I interact with any fans, regardless of the medium. But Instagram is usually a really good way to kind of, form more of an interaction and a friendship, and kind of get to know each other and tell me your story. So.
All right, hour 2 of It's a Man's World. We are back with you 5 a.m. on a Saturday morning. Woo! And like we said earlier, we got special guest in the studio with us, the one and only. Let you introduce him. Go ahead.
Gerald Pitts, what's going on, my man?
All right.
That's
Yes,
right.
Sir. There he is.
Well, I would say he was back, but he was never on WGNS. He's been on our
podcast. Yes.
So oddly enough, we're going to talk about a person that did make a comeback. But before we do that, remember to check us out at menrule.net. Like I said, WGNS Radio, 100.5 FM, 101.9 FM, and 1450 AM, which I love. I love the AM.
You like the AM? Why do you love the AM?
I told you I used to listen to it as
old school.
Take you back.
Yeah, as a child, I'd listen to AM radio all the time. So always been a big fan of that. And follow us on Twitter at Korey and Dave. That's Korey with a K. Mr. Bobby Bones lookalike.
Word
we talked about first hour. So, yeah. So obviously,
I can't help it, man.
No,
It's crazy.
Apparently not. Well, let's talk about LeBron James. Obviously, I would hope.
Oh, man.
Everyone knows.
I think everybody knows.
You'd be surprised, but yeah.
Well, probably Gerald. Someone like Gerald probably doesn't know about it. You know about
I know who LeBron James is.
Do you know what just happened? Do you know what he just did?
Nope.
Okay. See, well, there you go. And everybody knows.
Well, go ahead and tell a short
Yeah,
history.
Well, you know he made the decision back in 2010 to take his talents to South Beach.
Yes.
So he went from the Cleveland, I almost said the Cleveland Browns.
Might as well been once he left.
Now I'm saying the Cleveland Indians. I'm going to go right down the line.
You're getting there. Go ahead.
Rock and Roll
starts
Hall
with
of
a
Fame.
C.
The Cleveland Cavaliers, baby.
Which is the best of those three? Browns, Indians, or Cavaliers?
I would say the Indians. I would say the Indians is probably one.
That's
most
racist,
recent.
though. Racist.
The Indians are
I mean,
racist.
you can argue Browns might be racist too, though. So I guess Cavaliers.
Where did they? What is Browns? Is that somebody's last name?
Yeah.
Or, I really don't know.
That's the Brown family.
Okay, that's racist right there. Talking about the Brown family, bro.
But they didn't have any money to buy a team, so not that Brown family. So
I'm leaving.
Yeah, can I go with you?
Check out.
oh yeah, so Hispanic,
yes.
Hispanic families in the 1950s had money. Yeah, so I don't know. I think Cavaliers is kind of it's very Dungeons and Dragonish. You know, like it's like I'm a Cavalier.
name
Like,
is-
I don't even know
okay.
really what a Cavalier is. Do you know?
A Chevrolet is all I can think of.
There you go.
Chevy Cavalier. There you
Something
go.
to do with
exactly.
military, I want to say.
Like-
I think it was like
Like a knight or something.
No, I think it was like in like the 1800s. Like when you think of what was the guy's name that lost in embarrassing fashion. I can't think of his name right now. This is kind of embarrassing for myself.
You're the history buff too. Me and Gerald openly admit we know nothing about history. Some
They
guy,
rode horses.
Yeah, a lot of people used to in the 1800s. There weren't many. There weren't
I
any.
bet that's
Chevy-
right.
Yeah, there
I
weren't
bet,
many.
I bet that's right that he rode a horse.
I would say right. So, anyways, go ahead as your story as you were continuing.
I don't even know what I was talking about. He played for the Cavaliers, and
Right.
then in 2010 he was like, "Hey, I'm going down to the Miami Heat, man. Taking my talents down there."
You
So
name Miami teams.
Miami Heat,
Who else?
Miami Sound Machine.
Yeah.
There you go.
Which
That's what
would
I'm
be
talking
a good
about.
name for a team. Miami Sound Machine would be hot stuff. Miami Dolphins.
Miami Dolphins. And did they not change the baseball team to them? It was the Florida Marlins.
Yeah.
Now is it the Miami Marlins? Did they change that?
I don't know, man. We didn't even know there was an NBA team called the Pelicans.
Dude,
until this year.
did you know that? They changed
I
their.
just learned that the Colts moved to Indianapolis. So
Well, then you're on top of things, Gerald. So yes, the
funny because there is
Almost
some
true.
truth to that. It's not just now, but I learned about 8 or 10 years ago. I was like, the Colts moved from Baltimore, and my friend was like, "Hey, Gerald, we landed on the moon."
Exactly. So, anyways, his time was up. His contract was up in Miami after 4 years, and so he had another decision to make.
Right.
Which was he going to re-sign with them, or was he going to re-sign with another team? And he chose to re-sign with his former team,
Right.
where he grew up, where he is from, the Cleveland Cavaliers. Now, David, how does that make you feel? How do you feel about LeBron? I think it's safe to say everybody pretty much used to love LeBron before
Right.
2010, and when he made his decision, and it wasn't the fact that he moved and left Cleveland. It was just the way he went about it. He went on ESPN. He sat down.
Controversial, but
He was sitting down. He had all these kids around him, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm taking my talents to South Beach." He just led all these Cleveland fans on, and just kind of like they wait till the last minute to announce it, and then then all of a sudden he was just like, "Hey, I'm out. Peace." On national television.
I mean, I was a huge LeBron
Yeah.
fan in Cleveland. I love this guy. I thought he would be like the next, obviously he is the next great player. I mean, don't get me mistaken.
Well, he's
there.
the great player of now.
That would be the next great player after Jordan and Kobe. I would say he is the next great player. I mean,
Okay.
but anyway, I was a big fan of him in Cleveland. And when
when people say that, I kind of don't agree with that. But we can talk about that if you want, because Jordan is 6-0 in the finals, and what is your boy King James' record? It's 2-4.
Did you
I
Google
think.
Cavalier?
what is it?
I mean, you just said King James. Where'd you get that?
Oh, King James. That's James LeBron. James LeBron. LeBron James is. That's what the people call him, is King James.
Oh, I thought you were making a Cavalier reference. You did pretty good. King Charles.
Okay, yeah. Was the name used? Cavalier was the name used by
It was
parliamentarians.
the name used by parliamentarians. I'm just
Oh,
off
go
top
ahead.
of my
No,
head. Yes,
yeah,
just top of my
no,
head.
top of your head.
Was the name used by parliamentarians for like a supporter of King Charles I and his son Charles II during the English
so they're
Civil
supporters.
War. Yeah,
Okay.
just
So
kind of like what
the
you
English Civil War. So I was a couple hundred years
kinda
off.
what you were saying off the top of your
But I
head.
thought the Americans had
1642 to 1679. So
Oh, is that when it was
Shakespeare
used?
times.
Did
not
they
1800s.
use horses? Is that in there?
There were no horses during
Oh,
Shakespeare
man,
times. I
man.
don't think. I think that
Corey-
was pre-horse technology.
Oh, they didn't have horses back then?
No technology.
Oh,
No,
okay.
not for that.
Sorry, Corey, you're way off.
Man, I'm way
So
off on
anyways,
that one.
I'm
Next
not
in
sure
your
what was
opinion.
before horse.
Feet.
What now?
What was before horse? Feet, right? People just walked,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
They
of
hadn't
course.
figured out the
Yeah,
horse
yeah.
yet.
Rode on other
So
people's.
Cavaliers were foot warriors, like the Ninja Turtles, Foot Clan.
Yeah, and Michael Bay is his next movie after TMNT 15 is going to be Cavaliers 6.
King James and the Cavaliers. So you said you don't think he's a great player.
I don't think so because he was in the final. He took his team,
Yeah.
the Cavaliers, to the finals.
Which was a terrible team.
No, it was, and they
mean-
only went because of him.
Right.
But they also he gave up on them. He didn't play his hardest for them, and he left. He left to go to Miami so he could win a championship. Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant did not do that. They played out their whole career with one team.
Yeah, but Shaquille left. I mean, Karl Malone
Yeah,
left.
but
Charles Barkley left. I mean, I could go-
Charles Barkley never even won,
but he left to go to another team to
and it
win.
didn't
I mean, I
work.
can leave a list of players that left to go try win championships. Kevin Garnett, Paul Pierce, they all got together and won their championships. I mean, so he's
Yeah,
not
but
the
are
first
people
guy.
saying though he's the best player? Like they are the best player of their time? No. But people are comparing him to Michael Jordan, to Magic
Well,
Johnson.
he's not. He's never going to be as good as Jordan.
He
you
can't
know.
be because
Right.
he's
But
lost.
no, who can? What would you have to do literally to be as good as Jordan?
Win 6 championships in a row.
Even then, they'd be like, "Yeah, it's different time, different game." You know, they would say that. That's what they do. That's it. It's like, who's the greatest band of all time? Different time, different band, different era.
Yeah.
You know.
I don't know. I mean, who do people say is the best quarterback of all time?
Well, currently, who do people say? I mean, probably Joe Montana.
How many does Joe Montana have?
I think 4.
Okay, Brady's got 3. I mean, the same argument. I mean, we love Brady, but the same argument you'd have to use.
Joe
that I'm
Montana
using.
is the guy from
Yes.
True Blood.
True Blood,
the
yes.
werewolf.
Yeah,
Yes,
the
that's
werewolf from
it.
True Blood. Yeah, it's Joe Montana.
It's triplets, actually. Yeah. So,
Little inside joke.
The
Right. Yes,
Italian
well,
family
hopefully-
with triplets.
hopefully you listened to last week's
Last week, yes,
show.
exactly.
Yeah. So anyway, so
Go ahead. Yes.
we're going quick here.
So what's your
good?
outlook
I
on the
love
Braves?
him going back there. I think it's awesome. Hashtag the return. He's already got new shirts. Like it's great. He is one thing. What you think of him as a basketball player, he should market for this show because his marketing people are out of this world. Like his campaign before he left Witness, that was incredible at Cleveland. He goes to Miami. He's got a great. You don't hear anything about the guy like bad or good. It's just mainly good stuff he does. He's got a good marketing team around him, which is different today than it was back in the 80s with Jordan.
So let me ask you this: what do you think about those fans who were burning his jersey because he left? Now are
Oh, we know fans are fickle. They'll pick that jersey back up because they're going to get back to the championship
They'll
round.
stop
Because
the
the
ashes.
East, the East is weak, and he'll take.
what
them
would
back.
you what would you have done?
I never would have burned the jersey. I don't like that stuff when people burn. I'm burning a jersey. 'cause
well,
he
I'm
left.
not necessarily talking about burning jerseys. I'm just saying they hated LeBron James.
I would
He
never-
left them.
I don't hate Chris Johnson because he left here. You leave because
Dude,
at the end of the day,
you
it's-
didn't like Chris Johnson. You were talking trash about Chris Johnson when he's here because he kind of fell off. What
No,
about
me?
McNair? What about McNair?
I was talking trash about Chris Johnson. No,
You said you didn't hate Chris Johnson. You don't
No,
know why
you
he gets all
never-
that hate, but at the same time, though, you weren't like
I was realistic.
You didn't have his jersey or anything like that.
No, but I loved him. But no, I never was like I hate Chris Johnson. Or I'm off. Steve McNair was fine with it. I didn't.
Well,
hate
he
him.
didn't have. We didn't have a choice with Steve McNair,
Right.
did we?
So no. But anyway, that being said, the whole reason was so LeBron James, good or bad, going to Cleveland.
it's obviously good for the city of
All
Cleveland.
right. So the reason we're talking about this is because our friend Chad Flatt of HL Collectibles is going to be doing a prize giveaway on our show here. And why don't you tell them what we're giving away real quick?
We have a LeBron James second edition NBA. I don't even know what it's a.
It's a Todd McFarlane,
Is this Todd McFarlane?
custom
Okay,
action
there you go. That's
figure.
what I was looking for. Yeah,
It
Todd
looks,
McFarlane. Yeah,
it
custom-
looks
yes.
amazing. Like
Of course,
I'm tempted to
just
steal
like
it.
all Todd McFarlane figures
Yes.
do. They look
Right.
totally amazing.
They're great. So basically, we're doing a giveaway, and basically, if you want to get it, I mean, you just basically need to tweet at us #LeBron, and I mean, you can give your thoughts on that. You can give your thoughts on what a Cavalier is. You can give your thought on
Horses.
Right.
What came before the horse?
right.
You know?
So whatever you do,
What
just-
did become?
yeah,
of-
all you gotta do is
yes,
#LeBron. Then we'll put everybody in, and then we'll send it out to you. We pay for shipping and everything, so it should be fun.
The
So
history idiots. Could you just say hashtag
You
the
can-
history idiots?
You can do whatever.
So
you
find
want.
Chad at HL Collectibles on Twitter. Twitter, baby.
Right. All right. So we'll come back. We're going to be talking about Archie and then doing some movie talk. Can't wait for it. So thanks. All right. We are back. It's a man's world. Korey and Dave on Twitter. Korey and Dave at menrule.net and obviously on WGNS Radio. And we are joined by our friend Gerald Pitts. Thanks so much for getting up early with us.
Pretty early,
No problem.
man.
What were you out doing last night?
Sleeping so you can get up early?
No, he does not look like he's out partying.
I just kind of, I just rolled straight in here after.
Oh, straight in here for partying, bro.
You know how 40? That's 40, man. That's 40.
That's what you do at 40.
That's about right.
We had a good time at your 40th birthday party.
Yeah, that was a good time.
We
The
had
t-shirts.
your
and-
wife made up shirts with like pictures from
Different
you throughout
phases.
throughout the years and
That
put them
was a
on
total
shirts
surprise.
and we all got to wear one. It was pretty
Yeah,
funny.
we all did.
Yeah.
We all did.
I
Oh,
fell
no.
out.
We didn't because I wasn't there.
Ooh, you didn't show up, I guess.
I didn't get
your wife,
invited.
your wife was there.
Is that right?
No, I didn't get invited.
Your
It's
wife
cool.
was there. That's
Ah,
interesting.
It's whatever. It's cool. All
I
right.
don't
Well,
remember.
Okay.
all your friends. But we're going to talk.
Yeah.
I'm going to put that on my wife.
No, actually, I was invited.
Oh,
Kids were
okay.
sick that night.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, I was. I missed. I was kind of bummed out, but what are you gonna do?
You're only 40 once, bro.
Yeah, well.
Well, the good thing is,
I was left with the bounce castle just by myself. I was like, well, I guess this is 40.
Did you see that movie? This is 40.
I haven't seen it yet. My brother-in-law was just telling me
Yeah, I
about it.
saw it.
I keep hearing the same thing. It's just kind of okay.
It's all right. So
Kind of a sequel to something knocked up.
yeah, sequel. I guess.
Or
I mean, is that really
further along,
Yeah.
like another episode
Yeah,
of
it'd be
these
like another
people's life
episode
or whatever.
Yeah, so it's kind of strange. But anyway, well, at least on your 40th birthday, you weren't shot and killed defending your best gay friend.
That's a good segue. That was the silver lining of that night. I was thinking, this is a pretty good time. And whenever it went down, went south, and I was just left alone with that bounce castle, I was like, you know what? I'm not getting shot.
Did I get
Defending
shot?
my best gay friend.
I like how
gay
it's-
best friend.
Yeah. That's the best gay friend.
Well, I've got
yeah.
a lot of gay friends, and he's the best.
Yeah, he's the best gay one I got, man.
He's the best of the gays.
I'm not your best friend? No, you're gay. But
So-
you're my best gay friend.
So this week,
Next time somebody says, "Hey, a lot of my best friends are gay," that's how you call them out. You're like, "Oh yeah, do you have a best gay friend? Then what's their name?"
What's their name?
oh, so anyway,
Oh,
the segue
boy.
of that is this week, Archie of Archie comic fame was killed in comic book form.
Right.
He was killed taking a bullet for his gay best friend.
Okay, so I have to ask.
go
though.
ahead. I
We're
want
talking.
you
We're
to.
talking Archie here. Does anybody care?
Well, I mean, pop culture wise, it's a pretty big story.
No, I'm not saying it's not a big story. I'm just saying it's Archie. Only thing I know Archie from is from like the Sunday funnies.
And
I don't
you-
know.
I know
them
you
from,
hate
like, the
Sunday
comic books.
comics.
Oh, I think they're the worst, dude.
You didn't grow up reading them. You don't
Oh
have
yeah,
any kind of.
Peanuts and stuff like that. Yeah, you like them when you're like 8, but then you become 40 and you realize these are dumb. There's a
It did
one.
take me
You
till
know the
then.
one called Pluggers,
No.
where people like regular Joes get to write in and kind of do like the joke of the week.
Really?
It's just like one. It's just like one frame, and it's like pluggers. You're a plugger if, and it's you're a plugger if you eat oatmeal every day.
I'm curious.
It's just.
Where do you read these at? Do you get a paper?
I haven't gotten a paper in a while.
I haven't either. Where are you getting this at?
When Dave and I worked at our last job, they had the paper every day, and
So this is 14 years ago, pretty much.
it was about a year ago, 2 years ago.
What? Oh, that's right. You worked.
I've only been
together.
at my
Okay,
job
okay.
now for a year.
Gotcha. I thought you were talking
Dave
about
and I
valet.
worked over there. I worked there for 5 years.
Yeah, I
But
thought you were talking about valet days.
oh no.
Well, anyways, Archie gets killed.
Okay.
Now,
so
I was
are you
gonna
an
say-
Archie read? You're the comic book reader. Gerald? Do you read comics or did you read comic
No,
books?
I did.
Okay,
A little
so
bit.
you both know comics way better than that because
Yeah.
I've never been a comic book.
I did
reader.
not read Archie.
I've read The Watchmen, which is more of a
I like
what do you
that
call
one.
it?
graphic
Graphic
novel.
Graphic
novel.
novel, which I think is
That's a good
fantastic.
one.
It is
Yeah.
fantastic. That's why I read it. So you're the comic book guy. What do you think?
I think this is. I mean, I've been following. I follow comic books, and they've been doing some different things with Archie. Like he grows up in one story, he marries Betty in one, he marries Veronica in the other one. Which one is he happiest with? he almost, I think, killed himself in some story, maybe, or something like that, or his best friend did, or someone in another story. So they've been, I mean, obviously, selling this comic book to kids today is probably a tough sell. You know, like, hey, do you want to get that awesome one where they're fighting each other, and you know, or you want to get Archie where nothing's happening?
Is that what it was? Where like at some point it started like having like weightier issues?
Yeah.
I just never think of Archie having any kind of.
I mean, are there kids, like you say, as you say, Sunday comics? Are there kids going to get Archie? Really? Like this is in the most outdated.
Like so,
comic
that's
book.
just them
Right.
reaching.
I mean, it's like the 50s. I mean, that was probably
Yeah.
the 50s and 60s
Yeah.
was probably like its peak, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
for sure.
yeah.
even I, like I said, I do not read comics. I mean, I know about Archie, but it is like if you would have said, is there a comic book for it? I'd be like, I don't know. I just know it from the Sunday Funnies. I didn't know there was a comic.
No, I did know that.
So it was a
but-
comic book, and
Yeah,
they just started
it's a
putting it
long
in.
series.
Okay.
Well, let me read you this clip real quick. It says, in recent years, deaths of high-profile comic book characters like Spider-Man and Captain America have made headlines and garnered intense reaction from fans. Here's the good part. Goldwater notes that Andrew's passing as Archie isn't just a publicity stunt, but also a lesson about gun violence and a declaration of diversity in the new age of Archie comics. Go.
Well, I mean, like you said, I think it's more of a stunt than anything.
Yeah.
Not to say there's anything wrong with that or anything. I'm just saying, like, I don't think Batman's going to get killed saving his gay friend.
No, I would say probably not.
Who would it be? Let's
Well,
explore
Robin.
that.
It'd be Robin.
Yeah, it's either Alfred or Robin.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
Batman was surrounded with some.
That's a good point.
Maybe they both.
So
die.
I mean,
the Riddler.
like
could be green tights.
we're getting a kind of a theme here. With last week, we were talking about the Proud Whopper.
Right.
Proud Whopper being a stunt, and this is just as big of a stunt, right?
So are gay people not upset about this at this point? That should be the main question we're asking. That they're being used to market these products, Whoppers and Archie comics. Like, aren't they better than that? Aren't they into like high stock? This is like low stock redneck products. Like, right?
Burger King and Archie comics.
Right? I mean,
right.
are gay people
Like
really
it's a
eating
cheap
Whoppers and
stunt.
reading
Archie? No,
They're probably
wouldn't think so.
I don't Gucci or whatever high end product. I don't buy any high end products. I couldn't tell you what any of them are. But I don't know, man. This is just it seems like a very cheap publicity stunt. If I was gay, I might be offended a little bit, just saying like, all right, we get it. Using
Well, because they're trying to be. I mean, I don't, for lack of a better term, but gay people are trying to be taken more serious.
yeah.
And get things, equal rights, and then things like a Proud Whopper, and then Archie getting killed saving his.
Right.
I mean, Archie's done. I mean, that's gonna be the end of the series,
No,
right? Is
he'll-
that what they're?
That's what I was
he'll
going to
come
ask.
back?
So this is just like you were saying before. Like they had one version like where he'd marry so and so, another
Yeah.
one. So this is just another thing to
Yes.
just do and still
So how
come
did-
back and.
I mean, because
Well,
obviously,
Captain America
like,
is back.
Right,
Superman is
Like
back.
Batman's died a bunch of
Right,
times.
exactly. That's what I'm saying. But I
Right.
mean, Archie's not a superhero.
Yeah, but he's a comic book.
Well,
character.
He's a comic book.
There's
you
nothing
can
to
do
say
anything.
that they
I mean,
can't
you
just
could,
still do
right,
that,
exactly. I
though.
mean, you could do anything
They've
you
been
want 'cause
doing
it's
it.
not real. But I mean,
Yeah.
why would you even just kill him off? Why would you say he gets shot and gets put in the hospital? Why kill him off?
I mean, because this is a bigger thing.
I mean, how are they going to bring him back? That's what.
Well,
You
they-
know what? That's a bigger story to me. Is how they're going to bring.
well,
this guy
they never
back.
worry about that in those other things with
No,
Superman and
they
Batman.
just bring 'em back.
Is there going to be a dream where he wakes up and he's in the shower and he's like, "Hey, this never happened."
thinking
it's
about
like
his gay best friend? It's kind of weird. It's a weird
Nobody
call.
got
He
that
runs a
reference.
little bed and
Nobody got that
breakfast, a
reference.
hotel,
Patrick
Newhart.
Duffy. Okay, well, Patrick Duffy did that.
Yeah, they did that too. Yeah, was it Dallas where they
think it
gunned
was
down the whole
Dallas,
family
yeah.
or whatever? And
So you're not in. You're out.
I mean, am I in? I mean, I'm not going to be in because it's. I don't even know what that's about. What Archie? I mean, it's Archie comic. Does anybody know what it's in? You know what's it about? So
All right.
Anyway.
Well, let's go back and talk about Neds.
Hey! Welcome back to It's a Man's World. Hoping you're doing all right this early in the morning. Thanks for joining us on WGNS 100.5 FM and 1450 AM. And if you need it, 101.9, baby. What is going on, everybody? This segment, we're going to do Add or Drop. With us in the studio, we have our good friend Gerald Pitts. What's up, my man?
what's going on?
So
Not
you ready?
much.
You ready for some add or drop?
We are ready for some Add or Drop.
Or not to drop? That is the question.
All right. Break it down. What add or drop is for the masses.
So this is where we watch a movie, usually on Netflix streaming, and we tell you if you need to add it or drop it from your queue.
Right. So we knew Gerald was going to be. Well, we didn't know. We were hoping he was going to show up, or this would have been very weird. But he told us you'd be here, and so we let you pick the movie. So go ahead and drop what movie you picked for us to watch.
All right. So this movie is called Neds. NEDS. Looked that up.
You know what it stands for?
I guess it stands for non-educated delinquents.
That's correct.
Set in the 70s.
70s.
72.
Yeah.
1972.
I watched some set in.
What are you talking about? Wait a
What
minute.
the hell's it?
What did you watch?
Sounded like
did-
you said
wait.
2000.
Ned's Declassified Guide to Surviving High School, right?
What is that?
Is that not the movie we were supposed to watch?
Wait, so me and you watched the
Neds,
same one.
set
Neds.
in the 70s, reform school.
Oh,
like,
Right, exactly. What did
That was a Nickelodeon movie.
okay, well, were they have
Well-
Scottish accents? So they're
No.
in Glasgow
No, this is in California.
in the 70s?
I thought it was a weird choice, honestly.
a lot of F-bombs,
No, it was pretty
Scottish
clean.
accents, not at
Little,
all.
Are you kidding?
No. Is that what we're supposed to watch?
Why would he choose a
That's
Nickelodeon
fine.
movie? Okay, let's go
I
with
mean,
it.
You said it was about a kid's journey into manhood.
That's true.
Well, that's what this is.
I said coming of age.
yeah, coming of age story.
Youth
3.5
and
stars.
young
This was
manhood.
3.5 stars.
Was that 3.5 stars
On Nickelodeon, it was, yeah.
on Nickelodeon's version of Rotten Tomatoes?
On the kids' Netflix. No, I'm kidding. Obviously, I watched Neds.
Wow.
That'd have been awkward.
That would have been
Oh,
actually
boy.
awesome. That actually would have been
I
awesome.
should have watched it and compared the two movies.
I kind
I
of
think
wish
you
you
should
had.
have.
I
Next
kinda-
Saturday drop, we
I'm-
might have to do that. You'll just give us a random title, kind of a
Okay.
generic title, and we have to watch the movie you think you're talking about. Or you should give us a description of
like
a movie.
this.
Oh, I like it. As
This
soon
is
as we had
something.
to
This
find
is
it.
something that's not done. I don't think
That's-
that's been done
so next time
anywhere.
you come in-
I mean, there may be a good reason,
Yes.
but it hasn't
Well,
been done.
David, yeah.
So
continue.
next Saturday drop, you come in and do. You're going to give us a generic
Just
description
a
of a movie.
vague description.
Right, and-
It's a movie.
Right. And I mean,
It's
just
coming of
and
age.
it takes place.
like, just,
and it takes place.
I'm trying to even think like if you were
does.
describing like Terminator, you could just say, all right, this movie's set in the
Cyborg.
future. Some guy comes to save the future. He's got to find this kid. That's it. Go. And then me and Corey have to go through and find like what we think you're
Maybe
talking
it's a
about.
It could
Nickelodeon
be
movie.
RoboCop. But there's that's in
Yeah,
the future, right?
yeah.
Detroit.
It's probably
Is he saving
close
a kid
enough.
though? I don't know if he's saving a kid.
But
saving a kid.
You don't have to say that. It just says save a person.
Yeah, saves the day.
So make it it's
Wins the
just-
girl.
There you go.
Oh,
Generic as possible,
okay.
and then we'll all come together and see what movies we watch.
All right, set this movie up, Jared.
I'm almost disappointed that isn't real
that
now.
happened. Yeah, exactly.
All right, so yeah, set in the 70s, kind of poor area of Scotland, Glasgow. This kid he starts out young. This actor is really good, I thought, as the kid.
Connor McCarran.
Is that his name?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Connor McCarran fans out there. This
Now,
is his new joint.
This
He's
wasn't the
huge.
same kid though, right?
You know, I thought it was at first.
Thank you, because
There's no way that's the same kid.
earlier when I was like, I was going to say something, I was like, no, I'll just save it for when we're talking
Right.
about it. I was going to say, I thought that when he started school,
Yeah.
you know, when he went to high school, whatever you want to call it, they changed actors like at the end of the
they not?
year. No, I swear they did. I think
Oh,
they did.
Oh no, they totally did.
They
Okay.
did change actors.
And that's
but I was watching it, and I'm a dummy or whatever. I was just like, I think that's the same kid. And they just, the kids grow up so fast. They're like, why not wait a couple of years and just use the same kid?
I
or
mean, they
something?
definitely looked like that could have
Yeah,
happened.
they had
but
to-
I was like,
yeah.
they started.
So
this
you-
kid
it was obvious to
graduated
you.
from primary school, which the schools over in UK are a little bit different how the things work. But he's probably like 10 years old or something, right?
Yeah, I'd
10,
say
12
about-
years
yeah,
old.
yeah,
He was
I'd say
very
about that.
smart. He was supposed to be. He should have been put in when he went to the next level up, which would have been equal to our high school.
Yeah.
He should have been put in what they call 1A1, but they put him in 1A2 because of who his older brother was.
His reputation of the family was really bad.
Exactly. Like
He had assaulted like a couple of teachers or whatever.
Exactly. So at the beginning of the year, he was like, hey, I should be in 1A1. And they said, well, if you do well enough, the top two of your class move
class,
up, and the bottom two of
Christmas time. You'll,
Right, exactly. So point is, by Christmas time, which is what, like 3-4 months later, it was
months
this
or
big
so, I
kid.
think.
It was the big
This
kid.
This was the fastest aging on
Yes.
screen ever.
Am I
was
right?
like,
Was it just me, or
No.
did that happen?
No,
No,
I
you're
don't
right.
think it was supposed to be that same year.
He said
that
by
6
the
months.
headmaster
Yeah.
said by
I know
Christmas.
he said that, and it showed him go. No, it showed him get to move on to that next class.
Right.
But remember, there was like this little
They kind of like
moment, this shot where it was like the sun
where he
rises, the light comes up on the class. I took that to mean elapsed time, and you know, like
well, now that
it
we're on
was
this,
years.
since
That
we're on this,
wasn't-
since we're on this topic and talking about this movie, I felt like that. I was confused
I
throughout
was
the whole movie.
confused sometimes.
Throughout the whole movie,
Really? I mean,
Yeah.
like what
I mean, I had
part?
a couple
Well,
of
like
things.
that part,
Yeah, that was
like
kinda-
like I thought the whole like first 30 minutes was very slow moving. There were just other parts of this movie where I was just like, what's
Okay.
going on? Like I couldn't keep up with who was who, like who the characters were.
Right.
Like
Should've
is this
turned the
guy,
subtitles
this guy?
on.
Well, that's another thing. I don't think they even needed subtitles. Did you think they needed
Oh.
subtitles?
Well, I just
Oh,
use
yeah.
those anyway because I can't hear. But like with this movie, if I had been trying to,
I would-
there was
Yeah.
one
normal
scene,
hearing,
There was
I
one
wouldn't have been
scene
able to
when
tell
the
what
kid,
they were saying
there was
some
one
of the times.
scene when he graduated from primary school to go on where I think the character's name was what was his name?
Kanta.
Kanta came up to him, was threatening him.
The
I couldn't
bully.
understand a word he was saying, and even reading the subtitles,
Yeah.
you still couldn't understand what he was saying because it was half English and half how they speak in Scotland. Like half,
Yeah,
there's
like they
a,
would literally spell. I wrote down they spelled head HEID.
HEID. They had a word FAE. They're called Fae.
Yeah.
I have no idea what that
It
means.
means gay, right?
Well, Sarah said fairy. My wife is English, and
Oh,
she said
okay.
fairy. But as I was watching it, I was like, I don't think that's what that means.
Like gay fairy, though.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, fae means gay, yeah. And like
See,
Scott,
well, that's
yeah.
see,
Like feminine.
Okay, so
Yeah.
okay, we'll
Like
say that's what it was.
fae,
Okay.
yeah. No,
But-
I mean, I'm just.
And there were other words I was like, there were other words that they were using that. Okay, go ahead.
Yes, I will support your cause. That I looked up on Wikipedia several times while
Okay.
I watched this
Okay,
movie. Go,
okay.
what is
does
going
that
on
mean?
right now? Like, who is this dude he's beating up? Is that the guy from
Right.
earlier? Like, I don't know. It
one-
can't be
the-
that big of a time lapse, dude, because that's the same.
It had the whole thing last.
literally
the
just
whole,
assumed this. It
the
wasn't
movie
even
was
like a
set between
confusion
72
thing
to
for me.
74. That's when the movie
Yeah,
was set.
so, okay.
In those 2 years.
Well,
But he
kids
went
grow
from being
fast
like
that
a
time.
little
That was a
wimpy
little
kid
bit
to
of a-
like this big kid who could whip my butt.
Yeah,
I mean, he was a big kid.
Yeah,
Right.
So what are
they
your
grew up so
thoughts?
fast.
Well, you know what I felt like when I got through with this movie. I'm not going to give the end away or anything, but I felt like this was like we say we like American History X.
Yes.
This felt like this could have been not directly, but this could be like the prequel
Okay.
to
Sure.
Edward Norton's character in American History
Sure.
X.
Oh,
Like, how did this
interesting.
guy get to be like the way he is now?
No, and I totally
I thought
agree
about
there.
that a lot.
I never
I
thought.
about.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, go ahead.
I was gonna say I didn't compare it to American History X.
Yeah.
I compared it to a movie called This Is England,
Okay, I saw
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
which is a fantastic
Yeah,
movie.
I
I thought it
like
was
that
great.
movie.
And I was like, this movie, it was like it wanted to be that
Yeah.
movie.
This is England had a lot of heart to it.
Yes.
This had like
yes. This movie
this
could have been
was-
great. I usually love movies like this with that type of like. I mean, I hate to say it, with that type of violence. Like I love that type of like
Yeah,
fighting and stuff like that.
darkness
Like
and just-
the end scene, where not the end scene, but the end like
fight scene.
fight scene. What he did with the,
Yeah,
the,
don't
the
say it,
tape
but
and
yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, it was really
I thought that was
inventive and
great.
original.
I loved that.
Yeah, I did
There
too.
was so many great scenes like that, but with a confusing. It was just very confusing, and for me, it was confusing. And
I was
it just
okay with
wasn't
it, but there were a couple of moments that I got distracted by how confusing they were.
Yeah.
The mom,
Yes.
I still
that's another
don't
thing. That's another
totally
thing.
know it. This is the best I came up with, and you guys tell me what you think. The mom, so the kid grows up in this dangerous household with like an alcoholic father or whatever, and he's a wife beater.
Yes.
And they made that pretty clear, but with no explanation whatsoever, he's staying with somebody else, maybe his aunt or whatever. and
See,
it
I was
like,
very confused right there too, and I'll tell you exactly
just
what was
no
going
transition.
on. I'll tell you exactly what was going on because it was very confusing for me. He was not staying with that lady; she was staying with them. That is his aunt who
Okay.
lived in America. Do you remember at the beginning when she said,
Yeah.
"America's great"?
Well, you should have read Wikipedia because that would have been clear.
Exactly, because that's the only reason I knew
I
too.
read
Because
some
I
of
read
Wikipedia.
Wikipedia.
I did too. I was like, oh, she moved it. I thought
She was living in America. Remember when she left in the taxi?
That's not in the movie.
Remember when she left in the taxi?
No, it's not very. It's not very.
No,
clear.
it's
Yeah,
not clear
the
at all.
hugs.
It's
Yeah,
not
the
clear
ladies
at
hug
all.
each other.
I thought there was-
and he's
yeah.
watching from out the upstairs
Watching her
window,
leave.
which
I thought that
didn't
was
get
his
the
mom.
significance
I
of.
thought his mom was leaving him.
I
But that
thought
was his
that would've
aunt.
made more
That was
sense.
his aunt
See, I thought
going back to
I
America.
thought that was someone like he was like in love with. That's what I'm saying. We're getting all different.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was his mom, the redhead. I
Okay.
thought that was his mom.
I thought the redhead was his mom.
And then it wasn't until like an hour into the movie where he's like, "Your aunt's coming back to visit."
Okay. I didn't get a mom vibe. I was like, I thought it was somebody related, but maybe not. I was
Well,
like,
it makes more sense that the redhead is not the mom.
Well,
She was
it was
barely in
funny
the movie
because
and your aunt's coming to visit.
Well, it was funny because when I thought that was his mom, when the dad came down and in his very first scene, the very first time you see him, I was like, that dude is not married to her because there ain't no way
right,
they're on the same level.
Yeah.
Because she was pretty and he was.
That was the director
rough.
of the movie.
The director of
too.
the movie, yeah, exactly. Peter Mullen.
very chilling. Very chilling scene at about the end
Yes.
between the dad and the son, which is
Yeah.
like, wow, that's pretty.
So David, what were your thoughts on the movie?
I mean, it was enjoyable. With the aid of Wikipedia, I'm not trying to be funny,
Right.
but and
No,
especially
but-
with it being a foreign film as well. I mean, they do.
It's English, but it might as
Right.
I needed
Right.
subtitles.
I didn't-
Again, I have
yeah.
bad hearing, but like,
Well, I will admit, I mean,
the Scottish
as
accent's
you
just a
two
little
know,
thick.
my wife is English, and I've been over there, and I've been to
Maybe know
Scotland,
some of
and
the-
I've gotten used to that type of accent, so I could understand most
I would
of it.
say
but
for anybody else that hasn't been over there much at all.
Okay.
Like you,
Okay,
like,
I mean, that's fair.
recommend.
Well, I saw
That's totally
Korey-
fair.
I
That's
recommend
totally
it, but
fair.
I recommend turning on the subtitles to know what they're saying.
they were on automatically, right?
Yeah, they were on automatically,
Well,
yeah.
I saw you had tweeted about it after you watched it. Like,
Right.
did this need subtitles? I'm
Right.
thinking, yes, it did.
Yeah, I
yes.
wouldn't have been able to.
But
I'd have felt like I was missing
but
out
like
on
just
too
like
much.
just like the when the aunt for the redhead when she was like, you could understand her, right?
Yeah,
Well, yeah, she's American though, dude. Come on.
No, well, she's lived in America.
I know, I'm being.
Okay.
But her accent was really light.
No, and when he was talking, most of the time was fine. But some
Yeah.
of those gang members, like,
Yeah, it was the thug
Oh,
stuff
yeah,
with all the
yeah.
kids
You're like,
and everything.
They were saying "man," which meant "come on." We
Yeah.
meant "man."
Yeah.
You know, words like that. It was
Well, like I
weird.
say, I felt like just the arc of him just going from this to that was a little bit drastic. I mean, I don't know.
Well, it was
man.
like one day he was like the smartest kid in the school, and the next day he was
He's like
like,
a
you know,
thug.
stabbing people. You know.
Yeah,
That was a little quick. Like I thought
But
it was going to be a
at the
lot
s-
sadder, like
the
this
same-
drastic
yeah,
change.
no,
Because
I
he starts
totally
out as that
agree.
meek little humble kid.
I totally agree.
I don't want to give
And
like,
then
too
his-
much away. Everybody knows like the premise when you
Right.
read the plot
Yeah.
summary is like downward spiral of this kid.
Exactly, and it happens because of who his brother is. Everybody is afraid of his brother. Once they find out who his brother is, then they totally give him, the kid, John, respect.
Yeah.
which I mean that's realistic.
No, that is very realistic.
And his dad's abusive.
Right,
you know.
exactly.
Yeah, so-
exactly.
So what do you
Lot
say?
going on there?
I mean, you recommend people watch this or not? It is 2 hours long.
I really don't. I don't recommend
Okay,
it.
so
I think
drop.
if you like, maybe if I don't even like calling it foreign film because it is English, but you know, it's not probably worth your time.
All right,
Just
Gerald?
go.
I liked it. I would say if you like good performances or a lot of good performances, but yeah, it's a lot of confusing stuff. It's got its flaws, you know.
Go watch This Is England.
All right, well, go watch This Is England.
This is England.
All right, last segment of the morning. That's right. It's a Man's World on WGNS Radio. That's the Ramones bringing us in right there. One of my favorite Ramones tunes. And also, we got to talk about this past week, the last member of the Ramones. We'll talk about that. Passed away.
So when they going on tour then? That's honestly, I'll be honest. When I first saw that Tommy Ramone died, I was like, when is somebody putting the rest of the guys together, like the replacements and going on tour?
Well, Marky Ramone, who to me is more of the drummer of the Ramones
Yeah,
than
and
Tommy
Tommy.
Ramone is, because he was only the drummer on the first 3 albums. And then he pretty much said, I don't want to tour anymore, so I'm done. I'm producing. Go get you another drummer. I'm out. And so he lives the longest, big shocker there, because the Ramones were a band that traveled in a van poorly, did not get any good money, did not fly on private jets, did not get good hotels, and obviously they all died young. Big shocker there, you know. So I almost look at him like, you dropped out of the band, dude, like a long time, but you were still getting checks. So Marky Ramone still plays today with another band, Marky Ramone and the Speed Freaks, Marky Ramone and this, and plays all Ramones tunes. So it's like, what's really the difference, you know?
So break it down. Go over the years, maybe a little bit if you can, and like kind of break it down who died when and like kind of what order is what I'm getting at.
Well, let's see at first. I mean, I know and this is all coming from memory. I don't
Joey
have it
was
from-
second, right?
Dee Dee was first, obviously.
Okay.
So Dee Dee was a drug addict. So
Yeah,
usually the
bad.
drug addicts tend to die first. And
Yeah, break it down. Yeah, say why they died. Like
okay,
what they
so
died of.
obviously, you get started. Obviously, if you don't know, Ramone's 1977 punk rock band, and monumental in punk rock
I mean,
history.
did they
Yeah, they
really
changed
start? I mean,
punk rock.
were they the first punk band?
Were they the first punk? I mean,
first?
who's,
I mean, I don't even want to say mainstream
I want to
because
say like, so they were in America, and I want to say like Sex Pistols and the Clash were
Yeah.
like Ramones fans.
because
They had
isn't that
off
kind
at
of
the
what it
time.
is? Is like some people say it was the Sex Pistols. Some
oh
people
no,
say it
Sex
was the
Pistols
Ramones.
were
Or
after
way
Ramones
after
for
them.
sure.
Okay,
Oh,
okay,
yes, that's
okay.
100%.
Yeah, like I at some point learned that and hadn't realized that, but it was just like, oh, Sex Pistols were like fans of the Ramones.
Yes, the Sex Pistols arguably have arguably one of the best punk rock albums of all time.
Aren't the Sex Pistols a boy band? Weren't they put together? Is that true? Is that true?
Yes.
That's technically true.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
But, I've always had over the years some problems with the Sex Pistols. We'll talk about them for a second. Steve Jones allegedly learned how to play the guitar in 6 months because he was on speed. He's one of the best punk
He's
rock.
great. Like,
but
it's like,
you're like, were you playing on those early albums? I don't know. You hear people say he was, but I always had a problem with that for years. I didn't know if the Sex Pistols actually were playing on those albums or if that was like studio.
he played the guitar and the bass.
So they're like
on,
Punk's version of the Monkees.
Bollocks, and like but that's from him.
Yeah, right.
He's
He played
Steve
it
Jones
all.
is the source on that.
I mean, he's the only
and lead vocals now.
Right, lead vocal. But they only had one album. So whereas the Ramones, you can tell.
The Sex Pistols only had one album.
Yes, they only had one album. Never
Okay,
mind the
you had to
Bollocks.
excuse me because I'm not a punk fan. I'm not.
Yes.
I'm not a fan of. I mean, do I enjoy listening to the Ramones when they come on their radio? Yes. I do not own any of their stuff, so I'm not really. I'm not a real big punk fan. The Sex Pistols had one album,
One
and they're as
official
big
album.
as they are.
Yeah.
I mean, but
Yeah,
they
weren't together but like 2 years.
Yeah,
Wow.
they are the essentially them or the Ramones are the
well,
faces
they
of
come
punk.
out with it. They come out with the one and only album. When does Sid Vicious die? When does that happen?
Oh, I mean, not
Like immediately?
not
I
a couple
mean,
years
2
after.
years.
Yeah.
So is that why they only had one album?
Oh, no.
Or
He
they
was-
just broke up because they hated
were
each
a
other.
mess.
Yeah, they were punk
Yeah.
rock. But that album is phenomenal. I mean, it is one of the greatest albums
It
of
is a
all
great
time.
album.
Okay.
And it's amazing that they came together and recorded that. Like you can't even fathom that. Whereas like
Yeah, when you hear everything that you hear now, you're just like, how did this
How-
ever happen?
yeah.
And like you were saying, the boy band thing, like I didn't realize that to the extent of it was, Malcolm McLaren or whatever, he owned a fashion clothing store or whatever, and then just decided to take on this project. I feel like I'm going to put this band together or whatever. And then he'd pull these weird stunts with he'd book these tours, and he'd book them in purposefully in states that would just hate them. In Texas, they played
the South. Ooh.
yeah, in the South. He just had them play. He did not book a New York City show. Think
So he
about
was a
that
genius.
in the 70s punk. I'm just not going to do that. I'm going to do that. And to him, I don't know if he was just having a laugh or
So
if he
how
was-
No,
how
I think
long
he knew what he was doing.
how long
Yeah, I mean,
before he
Still
started?
talking about
He put together this band. Was punk around? I mean, with the Ramones. You said
I mean,
Ramones first album was 77.
1976.
When
I mean,
I mean, was he a Ramones fan or was he just a punk fan? I mean, what
I
made
mean,
him
I
go?
don't
Okay,
know
I'm
that.
just want him to do. He just wanted to
Malcolm
start something.
McLaren? I don't
He
know.
just wanted to be like,
he wanted
hey,
to make money.
well, okay, I didn't know if there was something more to it.
No,
though,
no, he's money man.
Okay, okay. Is this the same guy who did Backstreet Boys on the road?
No.
Okay.
That's a good question, though.
I would say that's arguably a different dude, yes, for sure. So actually, Joey Ramone actually does first. I didn't know that. In April
Oh
5th,
no, I did not know.
That was true.
April
Okay.
15th, 2001.
Okay.
I don't know what he died of, but he was in bad health at the time of his death.
So he
died
just
of
probably
lymph-
had
lymph-
something.
He died of elephant man disease, I'm pretty sure.
Lymphomia? Is that how you say it?
Just died of having a real ugly face.
Oh, wow.
Well, I will say this, David. Have you seen the Ramones? Did you ever see the
No,
Ramones?
I never saw him live.
Gerald, did you ever see the
Yeah, I
Ramones?
saw him a couple times.
Okay, I saw him too.
Yeah.
I did
No,
see
I
them.
never
I
did,
did
which
see
is
them.
unfortunate.
Was it a good show when you saw it?
Dude, it was like midsummer. They were wearing the leather jackets.
Yeah.
I was like, wow. I respect you for wearing leather jackets.
That's all you thought about?
Yeah. No, I mean, no, it was good. I mean, like I said, I'm not really a punk fan, but I mean, I knew what I was seeing when I was seeing it.
Right.
I told Dave I was a big fan, and it was already seemed like a band that was just kind of collecting checks or whatever, and they weren't big venues. Like he said, This was a touring band. Like, they might have had something bigger in the van. It might have been a step above a van at that point. And this would have been mid-'90s.
Yeah, that's when I saw them. I saw mid-'90s also.
Yeah, I mean, this is a band that's been together 20 years and still just,
at that time,
huffing it out. And, yeah.
Why was that 20 years after? I mean, they obviously had a lot of fans because...
I don't think they did until they started dying
Until
off.
when? So you're telling me, like, when Joey Ramone died, then all of a sudden people started liking him?
I think so.
I'm sure there's...
I mean, they didn't have a big fan base like they do today. Today, you can't go anywhere without seeing a Ramone shirt. I mean,
No, I agree. That's why I can't
Somebody's
picture
getting
or
paid.
fathom that
but
that's the way it is.
Mexico.
Yeah.
Weirdly.
Well, they were always big in Mexico, even when they were.
Yeah.
They liked it to Mexico.
Heyday.
So you two are big both Ramones fans.
Oh, yeah. Look at my car. I got a Ramone sticker. I mean,
So the latest guy now is Tommy.
So Joey dies, Dee Dee dies, Johnny dies of Dee Dee dies of drugs.
When did
Johnny dies
die?
of cancer, 2004.
So that's the last one that died until
10
Tommy.
years later, Tommy,
Now-
if you
okay.
consider him. So rest in peace, man. It is, but like I said, Marky's still alive, and I consider him more of a drummer than Tommy was.
Yeah.
So, whatever.
Okay.
All right, well, we're coming to the end, man. Had a good time today
Yes,
talking
thank
about.
you, Gerald, for being in the
thanks for
studio.
having me.
We're gonna have to make this happen again. Actually,
Right,
more
let's do
often.
it again.
That was a lot of fun.
So where can you find you at on Twitter real quick?
Gerald Mania on Twitter.
There you go.
That's
Follow him on
fantastic.
Twitter. Let him know you heard about us.
You can follow us at Korey and Dave. That's Korey with a K. You can find us at minrule.net. You can go there. You can listen to the show after it's released on every Monday. And there's articles there. Facebook.com/minrule. Like I said, Korey and Dave on Twitter. That's where you're going to find us most. Korey and Dave at minrule.net. And like I said, always go to minrule.net. We always got new articles there pretty much 2 or 3 times a week.
That's
Got
right.
good stuff, man.
And Mr. Bobby Bones himself is telling you that.
Bobby
So
Bones, baby.
follow us on Twitter. We out. Peace.